So I've had this stump for a couple of years, and today we're going to try and remove it using the help of a dustbuster and a section of drain pipe. So we'll start out with a spade bit. We're going to drill down right into the center of the stump, as close to the center as we can get. Next up, we're going to drill a side passage and try and connect up with the top hole. Alright, so let's prep the dustbuster. I'm going to take the back off it. And previously I took the dustbuster apart to disconnect the drive belt. I don't want this thing spinning all day long, and we're going to see how long this motor will run without overheating, hopefully. And we're going to take the drain pipe, see if it'll fit over the air end. Oh, that looks like a good match. And then use a bit of our good old friend duct tape. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now we've got the tough part, getting a little fire started. Use some candles. They're always good for getting things going. A little bit of wax and some paper. Whatever we can get going here, we're going to end up pushing deep into the hole, and we're going to try and get a chimney effect going that will allow the smoke to come up out of the top. So we've got a nice little fire going now at the entranceway, and I'm going to wait till that burns down a little bit, get a bed of coals, and then I'm going to try and work it back into the base of the stump, and we'll see if we can get the fire coming out of the chimney. So now we're going to introduce the dustbuster. And the idea behind it is it's going to blow air and hopefully make the air come back out of it. I'm introducing a lot of air into it. We're starting to get a bit of smoke coming out of the top of the chimney. With any luck, we'll get a good burn going on the inside. So there's not a lot of fire or flames here, but we're getting a huge amount of heat off this. The air is turning the coals red hot and helping them burn. Okay, so the heat on this is getting incredibly intense. The air that's being blown into it is keeping the fire very, very hot. The coals are burning. You can see it's getting pretty intense. We're going to keep this going for a while, and eventually we should see it start to come out the center of the hole. We're going to keep on feeding it a little bit with sticks and till the whole inside is really on the go. Starting to get there. So we're off to a really good start now. Really got that heat coming up. And we're going to see how long this takes. It may take quite a while to burn through the stump. It could be all day. So the stump is starting to form a bit of a bowl shape in there, like a cup. It's because the air being directed from the gut is focusing all of its force in that area, so it's kind of becoming bowl-shaped as that area burns more intensely than everything around it. It is about an hour in. Still have a long way to go. The heat heat is quite intense and the hole is starting to widen up and go through. But this is something that could take all day. We'll see. So a couple of hours has passed by, and we did fairly well. The burn has carved out a big indentation, but now it's gone out. I guess we didn't have enough fuel to keep it going, and so we've got this bowl-shaped indentation. And Sarah has suggested that maybe what we can do is use the drill to cut out an opening in here, almost like a small oven that we're going to build our fire in, and maybe get some air flowing through this area, build up the fire with a little bit more burnable material, and we'll see if we can get something that's a little more robust on the go. So you'll want to keep the fire going by continually adding wood to it. Found that if you don't keep adding the wood, there's just not enough to really sustain it. But if you keep adding bits of wood, it helps contain the heat, keep the coals hot, and that seems to be working. So lots of air and extra wood. Keep her going. Getting a good bowl-shaped carve out there. This has changed from burning out a stump into a campfire. So it's late in the evening and we're right down to the end of the stump, and I've packed logs around what remains of the stump. So the high part here is where the logs are all the way around, and by the time the fire gets to them, there shouldn't be much left of the stump underneath. The fire got really intense, so I've turned the air off for now, and we have a much simpler bonfire on the go. So once you have a wonderful fire like this, it's time to roast marshmallows. Okay, so this is the result after going through the burn. It took most of the day and well into the night to get this to happen. In hindsight, I probably wouldn't have bothered to drill the holes and try and get that chimney effect. Instead, I just would have started a fire at one side of the stump and then continually added wood to keep it burning. We found that the dust buster worked really well to direct the air where you need it, and you can actually steer the burn in the direction of the parts that you want to cut into. And it's even possible to get fairly deep into the root, burning a bit underground by directing the coals in the air there to get the heat of the burn. The air makes a huge difference in terms of getting the burn to happen. Here you can see there's a little bit of root left in a couple of places up here, and I could have gone and burned deeper if I wanted to start a second day of burning, but they're low enough on the ground that I'm not too worried about them. Another way of doing this burn perhaps quicker would have been to build
a campfire all the way around. If you don't have a problem with trees overhead or anything like that, you could have built a campfire all the way around and then put a little bit of diesel on the stump to get her going and just have a roaring great bonfire, and that would probably cut it down fairly quickly. But definitely, if you want to keep a controlled fire, keeping the height low, start on one side of the log, direct the air at it, and burn your way slowly through the log. And as you can see, there's not much left here. So I would say that worked fairly well.